Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that affects every single one of us every single day, our rights as consumers. Now, this is absolutely crucial for your exams, but honestly, it's even more important for your life, because it's all about the power you have in the marketplace.
I mean, we've all seen headlines just like these, right? Stories about people getting money back for a phone that was a dud, or an insurance company getting fined for denying a legitimate claim. These aren't just random news stories. They're proof that everyday people can stand up, fight back, and actually win.
And this really gets to a question that I bet every single one of us has asked at some point. You buy something, it's broken, the service is a joke, and you just feel totally cheated. What can you actually do? Where do you even start?
Okay, so let's break it all down. First, we're going to look at why these rules are even needed in the first place. Then we'll get into the movement that fought for them, we'll unpack the specific rights you have, and finally, the best part, we'll show you how to get justice when things go south.
So let's start with the core of the problem. You know, when you're out there in the marketplace, the scales, they're not always balanced. As just one person, you're often going up against these huge, powerful companies, and that can make you feel pretty small.
And this imbalance, well, it opens the door to all kinds of shady stuff. I mean, think about it. A shopkeeper giving you less than what you paid for, those sneaky hidden charges that pop up on your bill, being sold something that's defective or even dangerous, or getting fooled by some flashy, false advertisement. It happens all the time.
And these problems can be small, like a gadget that breaks the moment you get it home. Or they can be massive, like those huge corporations that spent decades running misleading ads, hiding the real dangers of their products, just like the tobacco industry did for so long.
So how did things start to change? Well, it didn't just happen on its own. It took a real struggle, a whole movement of people demanding something better.
In India, things really kicked off back in the 1960s. People were just fed up with things like food shortages and black marketing. This anger and frustration built and built for years, and it all led to a huge breakthrough in 1986. And listen up, this is a big one for your exams. The government passed the Consumer Protection Act, better known as COPRA.
So what did COPRA actually do? Well, think of it like this. It gave all of us a powerful toolkit filled with specific rights. Let's start with the most basic ones, the ones designed to literally keep you safe.
First and foremost is the right to safety. This means you have the right to be protected from anything that could be dangerous to your life or your property. It's the reason producers have to follow safety rules, like making sure a pressure cooker has a working safety valve so it doesn't explode. And to really understand how critical this is, just look at the heartbreaking case of Reggie Matthew. He was a perfectly healthy student who went in for a simple tonsil surgery. But because of improper anesthesia, he suffered brain damage that left him crippled for the rest of his life. But his father refused to give up. He filed the case, and even after it was dismissed at the state level, he fought it all the way to the National Commission. And the final verdict was a game changer. It confirmed that services, like healthcare, are covered by the right to safety, and that medical negligence has very, very serious consequences.
All right, next up is a right you probably use every single day, maybe without even thinking about it. The right to be informed. This right is the whole reason that manufacturers are legally required to put all those key details right there on the packaging.
And this information? It's not just a nice little suggestion. Details like the ingredients, the expiry date, and especially the MRP, the maximum retail price, that is your legal right. It's your first line of defense against being ripped off or sold something that's gone bad.
Okay, so we've talked about the rights that protect you. Now let's get into the rights that give you real power and control when you're out there shopping.
This is your right to choose, and it's really simple. It just means no seller can force you to buy a product you don't want. You want to buy toothpaste? A shopkeeper can't make you buy a toothbrush to go with it. You have the right to choose. A beer mommy's story is a perfect example of this in the real world. So she signed up for a 2-year coaching course and paid the whole fee up front. But after the first year, she realized the teaching just wasn't very good, so she decided to leave. Now, the institute refused to give her a refund for that second year, so she took them to court. And guess what? The Consumer Commission totally sided with her, ordered a full refund, and confirmed her right to choose. They even fined the institute for wasting everyone's time with a frivolous appeal. But what happens when things go really wrong? What if one of your rights gets violated? Well, that brings us to maybe the most important right of all. The right to seek redressal. This is your right to get justice, to get compensation for the harm that was done to you. So you've got these rights. That's fantastic. But how do you actually use them to get what you're owed? Let's walk through the practical steps.
The Consumer Protection Act actually created a legal process that's surprisingly easy to use. Take Prakash's story. He sent a money order to his village for his daughter's wedding, but the money just vanished. So he went to his local district consumer commission, filled out a simple form, and argued the case himself. That's it.
Now this is super important, especially for your exam, so pay attention. COPRA set up a 3-tier system of courts. For claims up to 1 crore rupees, you go to the district level. For claims between 1 crore and 10 crore, you go to the state commission. And for anything over 10 crore, you go to the national commission. This layered system is what makes justice possible for everyone.
And these consumer forums, they aren't just some vague idea. They are real, physical buildings set up all over the country. Their entire purpose is to hear your complaints and give you, the consumer, a voice. So what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's that your greatest power is awareness. People fought long and hard for these protections. The laws are there to back you up, but they only work if you know about them. Understanding your rights is the first, most critical step to making sure you are never powerless in the marketplace. So, next time something goes wrong, remember, you have the power to demand better.